my name is Goddess Fiore. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be going over my monthly fit test that I do once a month. I usually try to do it around the first of the month. I've been doing this fit test for probably a good 10-15 years and it is always challenging. It's only 10 minutes, it's 50 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, and to get set up with the next exercise. Let's go through the exercises really quick. The first exercise is a squat jump. It's going to look like this. If that gets too hard, you can go down to a squat. It's a lot to do that for 50 seconds, but that's a squat jump. You want to try to keep your abs in tight, hands behind your head. If your arms get tired, you can just have them right here, and you're trying to do a good jump and land softly. The next one is a push-up. So you can do a regular push-up. You want your hands underneath your shoulders, body nice and straight, all the way down to the ground, all the way up. I have a little bit of a shoulder issue going on. It's a chronic thing that kind of comes and goes. So I'm going to be doing modified push-ups, and I might modify some of these other workouts, exercises. So you're going to be here for a modified push-up, chest down to the ground and back up. Okay, so that's a push-up. Next is a burpee, and I do these burpees without a push-up since we just did a bunch of push-ups. So the burpee I do is going to be the jump, hands down to the ground, jump back, jump in, jump up. That's the burpee. If it gets too hard, you can just reach, hands down, step back, step up, and then come up. Okay, so burpee. The next one I do is a pull-up. So I have a pull-up bar in the other room, so I'm gonna be stepping out of the room here to go do my pull-ups. I will just kind of leave an empty space here for that. But for a pull-up thing, a couple cues that you want to try to keep in mind is when you're here, you want to try to think of engaging your abs and tucking the pelvis as you do the pull-up. It makes it a lot harder, but you're working your muscles more effectively. We have a tendency to want to arch and do it like that, but you want to try to tuck the pelvis under when you're doing it. Shoulders stay low, and you want to try to go all the way up, hold it at the top for a minute, and then come all the way down. Shoulders stay below, stay down. You don't want to have your shoulders up here when you're doing the pull-up. So shoulders nice and low, really engaged, and using your muscles through the whole thing, not using momentum. So normally I try to do as many regular push-up or pull-ups as I can without help, but like I said, today's my shoulder is a little messed up. So, and if you can't do a full pull-up, this is how you can modify it. So I've got a doorway pull-up bar here. I'm gonna take the step ladder, and what I'm gonna do is hold on to my pull-up bar. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. You're gonna put as much weight into your arms as you can, but your feet are there just to hold the weight that you can't use to pull up. So I start in my low squat, my arms are engaged, my shoulders are engaged. I'm gonna tuck my tailbone under and pull up, hold at the top, and then slowly lower down. That's what my modified pull-up looks like. Next up is a jump lunge. That's gonna look like this. This is a pretty hard exercise. A couple things that are gonna help you is to have your arms out to the side for balance. When you jump, you wanna make sure that this knee is not going so far forward. So the knee, you wanna kind of jump that leg pretty far in front of you, okay? When you're here, and then you power up, get the other leg in front of you. If this is way too hard, you can just do a step lunge. Okay? And you can hold on to something if you need balance. You probably don't have a pole, but. Next is a dive bomber. Again, I have a little bit of a shoulder issue going on right now, so I'm gonna show you the full, what it looks like. I'm gonna show you the full exercise and then a modified version. So for dive bomber, you're gonna start in a downward dog position. And what you're gonna do is, your elbows are gonna come out. You're gonna be in a little bit of an internally rotated position with your shoulders. You're going to start lowering your head towards the ground. Chest comes down to the ground, and then you push up into this like upward dog position. Lower down, push back. So the lower to the ground that you get, the harder this is gonna be. So if you're up off the ground a little bit, it should be a little bit easier. And then if you need a modification, if even that's too hard, you can come down to your knees and start in like a child's pose. chest down to the ground, push up, keep your shoulders away from your ears, lower down, and then push back. Okay, that's a dive bomber. Next up is a tuck jump. So a tuck jump is gonna look like this. To do that, you're powering up off your feet, you're bringing your knees up towards your chest, you're gonna slap your knees with your hands, and then come down. Very hard exercise, and if you start getting a little lightheaded, sometimes I do because it uses a lot of energy very fast, you can do just a high knee march instead. And knee raise is the next exercise. We don't repeat any of these exercises, it's 10 different exercises. I'm using my dip station. I'm gonna show you a floor version if you don't have something like this, but my knee raise is gonna look like this. Up and down with the knees. So if you don't have something like that, you can do a modified version on the ground by having your hands behind your butt, and then bringing your knees into your chest. Squeeze your knees together and in towards your chest. Knee tuck. Next up is a reverse push-up. And again, I'm using my little dip station here. What that's gonna look like is I'm gonna come down to the ground. My hands are gonna be up here, like this, and I'm gonna bring my chest up and then lower it down. There isn't really a modified way that I can think to do this because you're kind of pulling your body up towards something. So I would say if you would like some type of modified exercise to do instead of this, it's not gonna be working the exact same muscles, but you could just do like a little chest press. It's actually working the opposite muscles, but that's okay. If you're a wimpy man watching this, you probably need a little more pec muscle anyways. Okay, last exercise is the mountain climber. Ugh. Mountain climber is gonna be in a plank position, and you're gonna drive one knee to your chest and then hop and switch. So it looks like this. When you're doing this, you wanna make sure that your butt is staying low. You don't wanna be up like this, that's cheating. So butt stays low when you're doing that. Okay, that's the 10 exercises, let's do it.
Remember quality over quantity. Try to make each squat jump really count. Land softly, explode up. Keep those hands behind your head as long as you can. Once you get tired, you can hold them in front. And if you get tired of doing the squat jumps, if it's too much, you can just go to a regular squat for a little bit. And then when you can, go right back into the squat jumps. You've only got 15 seconds left to go. Almost there. I'm going down to a squat. I maxed out with my squat jumps, but I'm going to try to get a few more in right before. We've got 3 seconds left. Get a couple more in there and stop. All right, little break, shake it out. Getting set up for some push-ups. If you can do regular push-ups, start with those. Otherwise, you can do modified with me. All the way down to the ground, all the way up. No cheating. If you are one of my weak slaves doing this workout, then you probably need the pec muscles, so keep going. I know that you're weak. Take a little break if you need it. Stretch it out and then get right back to it. Don't stop. Make it all the way through this workout. There's the end. Little 10-second break before the next exercise, which is a burpee. Jump up, jump back. If you can't jump up, you can just reach. You can step back if the jumps back get a little too hard. This one's a little hard for me to jump forward because I've got a torn disc in my back, just do the best that you can. Always listen to your body. If something's hurting, you don't keep going. Always respect your limitations, but push yourself at the same time. It's good to find a balance between the two. I'm taking a little break. Keep going if you can. Take a break with me if you need to, and then jump right back to it. If you start getting lightheaded at all during this workout, take a break. Don't just sit down, but walk around, shake it out. Okay, get a few more in if you can. We're almost at the end of this set. There's the bell, little break. Next up is the pull-up, so you can move over to your doorway if you have a pull-up bar or anything to pull up off of.
All right, here
Otherwise, you can just do like an overhead press. If you're doing pull-ups all the way up, hold at the top, lower down slowly, put as much weight into your arms as possible. Really try to tuck the tailbone, engage the abs. Take a deep breath in at the bottom before you go up. Exhale as you go up. So inhale at the bottom, tuck your tail, exhale as you pull up. Just do as many as you can, take a break when you need it. Do modified pull-ups if you need to, like I'm doing. A few more seconds here, try to get 1 or 2 more good quality pull-ups in. Next up, we've got the jump lunge. Get back to your mat. Remember to get the front leg as forward as you can. Please be careful with these. It takes a lot of balance. Hold your arms out to the side if you need more balance, or you can just do the step lunge forward. If even the step lunge forward is too hard for you, because I know some of you are very weak and pathetic, then you can do a lunge back. A reverse lunge. You can step 1 foot back into a lunge. Always make sure the front knee is not going past your toe. So you really got to get that front foot forward. Listen to your knees. If this is too much in your knees, take a break. Don't go down so far. Do a smaller lunge, whatever you need to accommodate your body. Always listen to your body. Almost there. You've got a few more seconds. Try to get 1 or 2 more. There you go. There's your bell. Next up is the dive bomber. So you're going to get into a downward dog position. I'm doing the modified version. Remember to get as low to the ground as possible. Try to scrape your chest on the ground as you go. The lower you go, the harder this will be. If you need it a little easier, you can lift up off the ground. Be sure that your shoulders stay away from your ears. Internal rotation is a somewhat dangerous position for your shoulder, so you want to go real slow and be careful with this exercise. If it doesn't feel right, then do the modified version, or you can just go back to push-ups if this is way too hard for you. But you should be able to at least do the modified version that I'm doing, unless you're very weak and ridiculously pathetic. Okay, we've got a few more seconds here, and then we're going to have a break. Try to get a few more in. Try to do the full version if you can. Get a couple full ones in there. If you can't do the full version, stick with modified. There's our bell. We've got a 10-second rest before we go into the tuck jump. This one, like I said before, makes me a little lightheaded sometimes, so listen to your body. You're gonna be jumping up, slapping those knees. I usually do about 10 in a row, and then I'll take a break. If you do need a break, do not sit down. Make sure you're still moving around, as this is a very high cardio, high intensity workout. So I'm taking a little break, and then I'll do 10 more. Try to land as softly as you can. Get a few sets of 10 there. If you can keep going, by all means keep going. If you need to do the high knee march, if this is too much on your ankles or knees, you can also do a march with high knees up to your hands. Keep going. Just remember that each set of this exercise is only 50 seconds. That's not even a minute. Just do as many as you can. Shake it out a little bit. There's our bell. Next exercise is the knee raise. Or if you're on the floor, most of you probably don't have the dip station, then you're doing a knee tuck. So you're seated on the floor, knees go up to your chest. Keep going. You're almost there. Almost time for the bell. Try to get a few more in. There's your bell. Next up is the reverse push-up. If you don't have the dip station, then you can do the press up with the weights. So you're laying on your back and just doing a chest press with your weights. Another good pec exercise, whether you're doing my version or the chest press for all you weaklings who probably need to build up your pec muscles. This one's for you. Tell me if you feel it the next day. Keep going, try to get a few more in. Few more reps. Bell is almost here. Try to get 2 or 3 more in. There's your bell. 10 seconds to set up for mountain climbers. Last exercise. You're almost there. This is only a 10-minute workout. You can do it. Here we go. Drive those knees into your chest. Keep your hips low. Remember to breathe. Get those knees in towards your chest. Your goal is to do 80 to 100 of these within 50 seconds. I usually try to get at least 100. Try to do as many as you can before taking a break. This is the last exercise. Let's at least try to push yourself a little bit here. No more breaks. Keep going. You've only got a few more seconds. Drive those knees in. Power it up. Let's do this. Keep going. There you go. That is the end of the workout. You made it. Are you still alive? If you made it all the way through, I'm very proud of you. Grab a drink, wipe your sweat off a little bit, and we're going to stretch out.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm sweating profusely. That was only 10 minutes, but it is hard. So we're gonna do a little stretch and cool down, of course.
First stretch is a lunge. You wanna really get that back leg back. Try to tuck your tail before you start lowering down. Really make sure that tail is tucked. Squeeze your glutes under, press your pelvis forward before you start lowering down to your lunge. You should already feel it before you start lowering down. I have a little friend helping me stretch. There's Mr. Mo, always joining me for the workouts. And sometimes he stretches with me, and then we'll switch to the other leg. You want to hold each stretch for about 5 deep breaths. It is very important to make sure that you're breathing during your stretching. This is how the muscles relax. And if you're taking 5 very slow deep breaths, that equals about 30 seconds. You should hold each stretch for about 30 seconds to 1 minute to get the most benefit out of it. So we're stretching our hip flexors here, and then we're going to come on up. You can hold on to a wall if you don't have a pole. I'm sure you don't have a pole in your house, most of you. Okay, let's do a quad stretch. So you're going to grab the back heel. You can use a strap if you can't reach your foot. And you're going to start again with tucking that pelvis under. Squeeze your butt forward. Bring the bent knee in towards the other knee so that it's not flaring out to the side, and then work on squeezing that heel towards your hip. And then we're going to switch sides, grab that foot, tuck that pelvis, squeeze the knee in towards the other knee, and then work on bringing that heel towards the hip while maintaining your tucked pelvis and adduction of the right knee. I'm going to hold for a few more deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Very full, deep breaths will be the best for stretching. Next, we are going to stretch our hamstrings. So you can prop your leg up on a couch, or I have it up on the dip station. I'm just showing the modified version, but I actually like to use the pole for an extra stretch. So I'm going to get my foot up on the pole. If you're doing something like this, you want to try to have your standing leg as straight as possible. So I'm working towards straightening that bottom leg. I like to move around in my stretches a little bit so you can see I'm pointing and flexing my top foot. And then you also want to work on flexing the toes back towards your face. That's going to give you an extra hamstring stretch. lean towards that leg will also increase the stretch. Nice deep breaths. I'm going to do a little inner thigh stretch here. You can just hold the hamstring stretch a little bit longer because I'm guessing that you don't have a pole. If you have a pole, you can try this one. Okay, and then we're going to switch to the other side. I like to do a little active stretch there by bending my heels towards my hips. And then we're going to get the other leg up on whatever you had the first leg up. Bend or flex and point that top foot. Straighten the standing leg. Increase the stretch by bringing your toes towards your face. Straightening both knees as much as you can safely. And then leaning over the leg. Try to make sure, I'm a little open in the hips here, but try to make sure you're bringing the hip of the top foot in towards the other hip so that your hips are square instead of opening your hips to isolate the hamstring. Now I'm doing the inner thigh stretch a little bit here. Okay, I'm doing my little granny hip stretch, which just feels so good just to loosen everything up that we gave a good stretch. Now I'm going to do a little shoulder stretch. You can just do this one on the wall, hands up on the wall, make little circles with your rib cage. It feels so good. If that's too hard, you can interlace your fingers, straighten your elbows, and make little circles above your head like I just did. I'm going to do a few more of these. Now I'm going to bring one arm up and lean my chest in towards the pole. Again, you can do this on a wall or wherever else you have available to you. And hold it for a few deep breaths. Try to lower the hand and push the chest in further if you can. Now I'm going to do a little pec stretch. You can do this against the wall, or if you have an empty corner, you could have both elbows up at 90 degrees from the shoulders and do a corner stretch. That's a really good pec stretch. So I'm just going to go to the other side and stretch out the shoulder this way, and then I'll go to the pec stretch on this side as well. Remember to maintain your nice deep breaths to get the most out of your stretch. Here's the pec stretch on the other side. So again, you could have that elbow against a wall, or if you have an empty corner, you could do both arms at the same time and get a nice little pec stretch. Every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, try to go a little deeper. And then this is just another pec stretch that I like to do on the pole. If you have anything like this to hang on, the lower your hands are, the easier it is. To make it a little bit harder, you could move your hands up further, get a more intense shoulder and pec stretch. All right, next up, I'm going to do an inner thigh stretch. I have some lovely butt sweat there. You're welcome. Pointing and flexing my foot to get a nice stretch in there. You can lean forward a little bit. You can balance yourself with your hands on the floor if you need to here. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. Try to keep the bent leg heel on the ground if you can. This side is a lot tighter for me, so that heel's coming up, but try to keep that bent leg heel on the ground if you can. There I go, I'm trying to put it down. The stretches we are doing are targeted towards the workout that we just did. So we did a lot of squat jumps. That's why we're stretching our inner thighs. Did all the jump lunges to stretch your quads. We did a lot of push-ups, pull-ups. That's why we're stretching pecs. I'm just stretching my neck here a little bit, so side to side. This is a great postural stretch and exercise. Hands behind the head. Lift up, squeeze your shoulder blades together, open your elbows. Exhale, gently pull down on your neck. Inhale, open the elbows. Just doing a little gentle shoulder and neck stretch here. Remember your breathing. With this exercise, exhale as you come down, inhale when you come up. A little wrist stretch from doing the push-ups. And all the things that we did on our hands and knees. Nice deep breath, stretching all the way through the forearm. These are best to do with straight elbows. Little overhead stretch for the lats. Since we did the pull-ups, that's how I want you to do it. I'm actually going to use the pull for my stretch and get a little bit deeper stretch here. But if you're doing it the other way, elbows up above, and then you're gently pulling back an elbow, make sure you engage your abs when you're doing that so you're not arching your back to compensate. And then let's do the other side. If you're doing the elbow up overhead, you can do it that way. Coming down to the ground for an ab stretch after doing all those knee tucks. You want to think of making your spine really long, stretching through the top of your head. You can squeeze your glutes here a little bit to protect your back. Nice deep breaths. Just let your hips drop down to the ground. Legs are a little bit wider than your hips. Just stretching out your iliopsoas and all your ab muscles. And doing a glute stretch here, one leg over the top. That's how you can make it easier, by putting the foot out further and the hands further out behind you. I'm fairly flexible, so I'm bringing everything in a little bit closer. Chest towards the knee will make this harder. This side's a little tighter for me. You can see the knee is a little bit further towards my body. You want to try to really open that knee up and push it towards, so it's like parallel to your body. I'm going side to side, which feels good. Almost done with the stretching. As you can see, I do lots of stretching. We're going to do a straddle and just do some little circles here with the chest. This will stretch out your hips and your lower back. A nice gentle stretch for the lower back. We'll do about 5 or so each direction. I can't remember if I did 5 or 10. And then we're going to switch directions now. Nice, gentle, deep breathing. This should feel pretty good. Just loosening everything up. Wiggle it out. And now we're just going to stretch it forward. Nothing crazy, just whatever you can do comfortably. Point and flex those toes for a little extra hamstring stretch. And just hold here for a couple deep breaths. Let's bring it over to the left side. Reach towards that foot. If you're flexible, you can reach the foot. You can always grab a strap and wrap it around the foot and pull that way. Or just keep your hands on the floor, that's fine too. A few deep breaths here. We're gonna come back through the middle. Hold that just for a second. Remember, you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Nice deep breaths. And over to the other side. You might have one side that's either easier than the other. I know I do. Try to reach that foot if you can. Flexing your toes will give you more of a hamstring stretch. And let's bring it up. Both legs together. I'm going to grab my butt and move the fat out of the way so I'm sitting on my sit bones. Try to keep your back straight and just do a couple little pulses forward, and then we're going to stretch our back out here, reach towards your feet. You can always use a strap around your feet or a belt to reach your feet if you want, or you can just have your hands on the floor. Try Try to inhale, straighten your back up a little bit, and then fold forward again. Exhale, just let it all go. You guys did a great job. You will be feeling it tomorrow. All right, last stretch, I promise. Just a little ankle stretch here, foot stretch. Come up onto your toes. Just lift and lower your heels slightly. Then you can tuck your toes under for a point, stretch out the front of your foot. Be careful here. You don't want to overstretch this area or apply too much weight onto this part of your foot, but just stretch and hold. This is a good one to do after you go running too, if you get shin splints. And we're just gonna wiggle it out for a second, and that's it.
That's the end. Thanks for joining me. I know that was a lot of stretching, but stretching is important and everybody should do more of it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment if you would like. You can follow this playlist of all my workout videos, and thanks for watching.